there's storm, there's ballast, there's super engine, there's gas, there's grappling hook, there is...
And you're so close.
Oh, come on. Oh, no, what is it? Ballast, super engine, gas, grappling hook. I don't know, what is it?
Got them all.
Oh, man! Welcome to Cardboard, the board game podcast.
I'm Devon Body.
And I'm Steve Davis. We're talking this week about...
Montgolfiere!
Montgolfiere, which is...
Or for English speakers, ballooning.
Ballooning. Hot air ballooning.
Featuring hot air balloons.
This is a super simple game where you are in a balloon race to the moon.
Yes.
That is right. The goal is to get to the moon, and everyone
your hot
knows
air balloon.
That hot air will rise you straight to the moon. So
don't worry about it.
That is, we all know that. And
jet
we will
streams are a lie. Cross ones are a lie.
We all know, we understand, we agree. We will not talk about this again. We are going to the moon in a hot air balloon.
Straight up.
That rhymed, and I enjoyed it.
Well, not when you point it out. Our audience is supposed to point it out.
We are going to the moon in a hot air balloon.
There, now cut out the other
I made
one.
a rhyme. I'm having a good time.
Mm.
For the rest of the podcast, I'm going to rhyme.
Lobcast.
And I will not be outlasted. I lost. I got outlasted by my own bad rhymes. Yes, Montgolfiere. This is, that's literally it. It's just a board. The board is literally a straight line.
Yep. And
you have a little balloon peg, and you are just playing cards to get to the moon the fastest.
And the main skill for this game is mind reading.
That is the main one. So practice up. That's why it's age 7+, because the mind reading skill does not really develop until kind of like 4 or 5, and then you want to have a little bit of
time to practice.
Adaptability.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word. You want to be halfway decent at mind reading.
Adaptability is a word.
Adaptability?
Oh, not adaptability. I thought you said
need to be
adaptability.
adept at mind reading.
Right.
Like a Jedi adept. But my favorite part of this is that there are no turns.
Well, there's turns.
No. There's rounds, sort of.
No, you turn your token thing.
You turn the card over. You don't take turns.
Yeah, everyone plays all at once, sort of. Well, not really. Well, you can put the card in front. You reveal all at once.
Yes, you put your card face down. You don't draw. You have 7 cards in your hand. You put your card face down, then you draw a card. Once your card is face down, or I would say once you draw your next card, you can't touch that card that's face down anymore.
Nope.
And then everyone reveals, and based on what everyone played, your piece will move up or down the board.
Or stay.
Yes. So I kind of like that aspect, that it's not just going in around. It's the strategy is about what you've played.
All right, well, let's just start on how to actually play the game, then.
I did just cover that, so...
You forgot to say pick a colored token.
Oh, boy.
It has a little picture of a balloon on it.
Yes, it has a hot air balloon on it, and there are 6 decks of cards.
Yep. And they're color-coded for your balloon.
And what's really interesting is that they chose to match up the colors of the cards to the token on the board. I thought that was a really smart choice. by the game developers.
Yeah, it makes it really easy to tell who played which card.
Yeah, so you know that if you chose the blue token, you have the blue cards. That's really stupid. Listen, this is a very simple game, and we gotta kind of fill up the time.
And then when you are playing that card for the round, you do place it face down, so no one else knows what you played.
Yeah. The goal, the idea being that you see what everyone else played when it's all flipped up. So after everyone has chosen, no one can choose to play a different card based on what you chose.
Yeah. And then they get resolved in this order. First Sleeping Gas, then Storms.
No, we've forgotten about
then
that.
Ballast, then Supermotor, and then Grappling Hook.
So you've actually heard, Grappling Hook is last.
Yeah. Because you have to know which way the person moved first.
Right.
Before you can move that way.
So we try not to go really in depth into rules, but there's literally 6 different cards.
Yeah.
So let's just explain what they do.
I thought we were going to avoid that.
There are 6 cards.
But ignore.
Then okay, we're going to ignore that. But there are a couple we'll talk about just because they're fun, and that's when we're talking about strategies, that's what we're going to talk about. Because there's literally very little. So the idea with the ballast is there are 15 ballast cards, 1 to 15.
I think we better explain how a balloon works first.
Okay, so, sorry, go on. You explain the balloon.
Alright, so a hot air balloon is an invention from 1782 from the Montgolfiere brothers, which is a cloth bag filled with hot air, which rises because of the smoke.
It's based... Wait. You have written down that the game is based on the 1782 invention of the Montgolfiere brothers, which filled a cloth bag with hot air. That's amazing. You actually wrote it all down. Yeah, this board game is based on hot air balloons. That's it. Except it's not even fully based on them because they go to the moon.
But I'm not done yet.
Talk about it.
In 1783,
the next
in an
year.
attempt to send a sheep, chicken, and a duck to the moon.
Oh, really?
The brothers sent them up outside of Versailles Palace. The animals did not make it to the moon, but they did survive the 3-kilometer flight.
Wow.
No, they weren't actually sending them to the moon.
Were they?
It was just a test flight.
Oh, okay. I think they put 3 different animals.
Well, yeah, so the sheep was the closest, what they thought was the closest representation of a human.
Obviously,
a
sheep,
up.
Yes.
The duck could already fly, so that was more of like a control. Like a duck could normally just go up there on its own, no problem.
Depending on the duck, it's barely.
And then they picked a chicken because being a flightless bird, it was a little different from the control because they could see how the height affected the chicken.
You're saying much like all the science of the 1700s, they just put a bunch of into a balloon
and said, "Let's see what happens."
Yeah, okay, okay.
And that was the first time they had living creatures in a balloon. They've flown balloons that were empty previously.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, so this game's based on the Montgolfiere brothers.
That is the history of hot air balloons.
Yes.
Okay, so back to ballast.
Yeah, so ballast work because on the ground is your maximum weight of the balloon. And then as you fill up the balloon with hot air, the hot air causes it to become more buoyant, technically.
Well, buoyancy is for water.
Buoyant in air.
What's that? Air buoyant.
Floaty?
It's
it becomes more fluent.
Fluent is it. It's buoyant is water, fluent is air. So, but fluency can only lift so much depending on how much hot air and blah, blah, blah. So the idea of ballast is you have extra weight in and you would throw the weight out to gain more altitude.
Because you've already got the hot air lifting that weight, and if you're suddenly losing that weight, it is lighter and thus can lift faster.
Exactly. So, you have 15 ballast cards, all numbered 1 through 15.
1 is the lightest.
15 the heaviest. And if multiple people put down ballast... Actually, no. No matter if from 1 to 6 people put ballast, whoever put down the highest numbered ballast card, they go ahead 1 space.
Even if they tie.
Even if they tie, both people will go up. And then anyone else who played less will not go up.
Stay exactly where they are.
And if only one person played it, then one person goes up because technically it's the highest. So that is the biggest strategy in the game, trying to keep track of what everyone had. Because obviously the 15 ballast is the most valuable one.
And guessing when they're going to play it. A valuable strategy I've had is playing all my low ballast first. Multiple games I end up like right at the bottom, like way behind. But I'm able to shoot back up by saving those higher cards for later in the game. And it's a pretty effective strategy that I've found. I have a decent record. The other strategy is to play all those high cards right away and beat everyone trying to play those low cards at the start.
I mean, that's true. That's true. If you can, like, my strategy purposely falls behind to catch up later, but if you can get a big enough lead, actually get way out there, you might be able to hold that off just long enough. It's first person to the moon or whoever's ahead when the cards run out.
Yep, and you start at 5. You don't start on the ground. You start already a little bit aloft.
No, you actually start at 4.
I have 5.
Well, they might have changed it because in the rules we have it says 4.
Okay. Well, anyways, you don't start on the ground.
You start on the ground. You don't start on the ground. Well, based on the picture, you're starting on a hill.
Oh, is that how that works?
Well, that's how it's looking like. And then, like, the next ones up are starting to get into the sky. But that one, you're starting at, like, the top of a hill.
You can't fit that many balloons on a hill.
Listen.
That's madness.
Oh, you specifically can. That's what hills were made for.
It's just a basket.
Yeah. But,
they take no vertical space.
They take all horizontal space, really. But yeah, so you actually start a little bit higher up. So you can actually, like, start to lose ground. I think that's the whole point of it, so that you can actually start dropping people down right from the get-go. Because things like...
Just a plus.
Things like sleeping gas cause you to go back a space.
Only if you would have gone up a space.
Oh, right. Sleeping gas makes you do the opposite? No, sleeping gas cancels out.
Oh, wait, no, that's
Sorry,
storm.
Sleeping gas
stops the person one layer below you.
Whatever they're doing below you. It's the storm. If a storm hits, you do the opposite of what you were going to do. So if you actually would have lost a space, you'll go up. And if you're actually going to go up a space, you go down. And if it was 2 spaces, you go down 2 spaces. No, that's not true, because the super engine shoots you ahead 2 spaces unless there's a storm, in which case you still go up 1.
And the grappling hooks...
And it's not affected by the sleeping gas.
Yes. And the grappling hooks let you follow the same change as the person who was 1 space above you.
See, that's a great strategy for someone who's using those high cards. Or, no, that's a great strategy for someone behind someone using those really high cards. Is just throw out a grappling hook and right to the top with them.
Yep.
It's actually a great way. And there's like 5 or 6 of those damn grappling hooks that always come out at the end.
Well, it's the card people are most likely to hold on to because they might be 2 spaces away.
Yeah.
But the more players you have, the more useful grappling hooks become.
That's true. We always play with 3 players. But I've played with, I want to say it was 5? It was 4 or 5. And that was just a lot of chaos. My poor brother-in-law was last every single time. No, he sucked. It sucked, and he didn't want to play anymore, so we stopped. Because
we're not saying which one.
We're not saying which one, Brandon. But yeah, it was a rough game for that particular brother-in-law. I'm not gonna say which one. I only have 2. I
mean, that's where the mind reading comes in. Brandon, work on your mind reading.
Yeah, seriously, work on that Work on that mind reading, Brandon.
Alright, so Montgolfiere is for 3 to 6 players. It does take 3. And takes around 30 minutes for a game.
Yeah, I would say that.
This one's actually pretty accurate.
That's like the one game we found that's actually accurate in its estimation of time elapsing.
Maybe slightly higher, but I found that 30 minutes is plenty. It'll usually be done in that amount.
Though I bet it would shorten the time that we play a little bit. If we followed that order of play, the order of play.
Oh, yeah.
Like how many times we're trying to figure stuff out when it's just like, no, okay, just activate each card in order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was designed by Dominic Enhard, who is also the artist on the game and writes children's books.
Did he draw the children's books too?
I didn't look into which children's book, but one of them was a really cool
Only
pop-up
one of us
book.
has to do the research, and you didn't even do that.
One was a really cool pop-up book. Maybe I should get for one of my cousins. Kids like pop-up books still, right? Or pop-up phone books. Not a phone book that pops up, but a book on a phone that has AR technology.
What kind of soundboard doesn't have crickets? I think that's the point of the crow.
Yeah, maybe.
Which I just did while you were talking.
Alright, it was published by Eurogames in 1992 with English, French, German, Spanish, and I read that weird, directions.
With English, German, and French directions.
And Spanish.
And Spanish directions.
Yeah, so you can play the game in any of those languages, but none of the cards have any words on them. So,
no, that's true.
I mean, you could probably play it with any language as long as one person speaks one of these 4 languages to teach it.
I mean, that's a common theme that we see in board games, is that they're all international.
Yeah, especially like the European market.
Well, you know what? So many of the most popular board games we're finding are from the European market.
Yeah, where people speak many languages, so it doesn't make sense to write so many words on every card when you're just going to have to translate it.
Like the entire space of Europe is less than, Canada and the US basically, but there's like so many languages right there. So if you want your board game to actually have any sort of footing and actually do well, you have to put it into just about every language that you can reach.
So just keep art on your cards and keep the words off.
I like that. I like that idea.
All right. Well, we've already talked about what's in the box.
What's in the blocks?
But you get 6 Montgolfiere player tokens, 6 sets of 6 identical sets of 24
and
cards.
It's the nice wood tokens too.
Yeah, those are some really nice ones.
Did we mention 6 different colors that matched with the cards?
Yes
we did? Okay, no, I want to make sure we got that.
What we didn't mention is that the box actually includes 6 rubber bands for keeping those cards separate.
6 rubber bands? Are they like large, medium, small?
I don't know. We're using them still.
No, I only had one. We only used one.
Oh, then I guess you got a defective copy.
I also don't use the box anymore.
Right. You might have thrown out the rubber bands.
Well, we might not be in version, 5.0 or whatever.
And then in that deck of 24 cards, you have the 1 to 15 ballast, 4 grappling hooks, 2 sleeping gas cards, 2 storm cards,
and 19
and 1
grappling
super
hooks.
motor.
How many grappling hooks does it say?
4.
That's not true. There's at least 7.
4.
7.
14. It just feels like 17.
Yeah, because they're all at the end. So sometimes if you play your strategy wrong, you end up with nothing but grappling hooks at the end.
And no one to grapple to because you're out in front.
Yeah, it sucks.
And the best you can hope for is second. Card descriptions.
Will I build my own balloon?
You're not supposed to read that.
Okay, never mind.
You read my note.
I'm reading your notes. Card descriptions we did.
Yep.
We've talked about all the cards, basically.
Alright, well, let's just go straight to the best card and the worst card. Let's start with your worst card.
Worst card last week, or 2 weeks ago, we ended off on a bad note, because we ended off on the worst card, and I got a little emotional. I won't lie.
Uh-oh. So we're gonna go bad, bad, good, good. Instead of bad, good, or good, good, bad, bad.
Okay. So I will say that my favorite worst card, meaning my least favorite card, is the grappling hook. There are 19 of them in the deck.
Figuratively.
Literally 19 grappling hook cards in the deck.
Which means figuratively now.
Literally does mean figuratively.
Which is
literally
weird.
means approximately now. That's what literally means. But no, they're just, I don't know, I think it might be my own strategy that always leaves me off with like a bunch at the end. But they're also a little bit too specific for my taste. It's the same with the sleeping gas, but the sleeping gas there's only 2. Like the grappling hook only it only helps you when there's a person directly in front of you. And like I said before, my strategy is hang way back and then shoot ahead. There's literally like a 2-turn space where I'm like right behind somebody and then I'm like shooting ahead. That's
so
how
like rounds 2 and 3 are your optimal like grappling hook turns.
Yeah.
Then after that you're getting rid of your low cards.
Like turn 2 and 3 and then I don't know how many turns there are, maybe like 20?
There ends up being like...
Wait, how many? You can tell me how many turns. You have literally
there's 24
listed.
cards.
So there's 24 turns.
Maximum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maximum.
Yeah.
So, like, turns like 2 and 3, and then 2 turns like anywhere from 10 to 14. Or when I can use my grappling hooks, and that's it.
And that's if they're even in your hand.
And it's if they're in your hand, which they almost definitely are by this point. If they're not, that sucks. B, it's also super specific. Like you gotta have someone that you know is gonna shoot ahead, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all that mind reading. You have to know that person's gonna play a ballast card or an engine card rather than like a storm or something to hurt the other people.
Those are also the turns where people are like, oh man, I'm going to play this storm and send everyone back down.
Or I'm going to play
they're all trying to shoot up.
Yeah, or I'm going to play sleeping gas because Steve's right behind me and he's going to try to pass me. And it's like, Steve's like, no, I was just trying to go with you.
Yep.
But on the other hand, that's a good way to burn that card because then you don't lose out. But yeah, I hate the grappling hook.
All right.
What do you hate?
My worst card.
I am animated.
I'm gonna say it. It's the super engine.
What?
It's the worst card.
I have mixed feelings on it, I'll be honest.
There's only one of them.
Yeah.
And it's never enough for anything really important.
And it's so easy for it to get screwed down to like 1.
Yeah.
Like how many, like
so many times you're bringing somebody else with you.
Yeah. Someone's like, he's gonna do a super engine. Yeah, sweet. Fly 2 spots ahead.
So, the super engine is the worst card. And balloons don't even have engines. What the hell is it doing there?
Well, that's why it's a super engine.
Attached to what?
The basket.
What's it superizing?
Listen, remember that whole remember buoyancy, right?
Oh, you're just throwing the engine off. Okay.
No,
I get it.
It weighs so much.
No, you just got a big block of metal and you're just lifting it over the edge and throwing it off the balloon.
That's a good point. Why not just get rid of it rather than attach it? Probably better in the long run.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I was going to say the buoyancy is only limited by how much it's lifting. So if you put an engine on your basket and the engine lifts your basket, then your balloon is going to
then your balloon's only lifting the engine.
No, your balloon's like not even lifting anything. It's just flying straight up until the engine shuts off. So? No,
I'm pretty sure you're just pushing it off the edge, and it is useless.
Oh, people think I'm so funny. Thanks, people.
Alright, my best card is the 15 ballast card. It beats everything. So great.
It is a great card.
Awesome.
Having the 15 ballast card in your hand is great.
Just shoot up, and people are definitely not going to beat you. You might be put to sleep. You might go backwards, but you're doing it. That's for sure.
I have seen multiple 15s come out, which is annoying. You still get to go up, but it's annoying. Or when you play a 15 and someone plays a storm.
You're definitely moving.
Yeah.
15. Always reliable.
My favorite card? I'm going to go with it. It's the Super Engine.
What?
Best card, Super Engine.
But it's the worst card.
Because it's your worst card. But I love the moment when you do get it to work, where you save it till you're right behind someone and shoot ahead of them. That's fun. Or and it's very common when someone's right behind you and they use like a sleeping gas to attack you. Not affected by my super engine. I could be asleep while this engine still runs. Whether you use a storm, yeah, you slowed me down, but I still got ahead.
I think the super engine resolves. No, the sleeping gas resolves before the super engine.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect the super engine, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't it?
No. Sleeping gas does not affect the super engine. Read it. We talked about this like 10 minutes ago.
Interesting.
Which is weird because we've been recording for like 25 minutes. So that's why I like the super engine, because it's not affected by anything except the storm, which only slows it down.
And the grappling hook, which helps somebody else.
Well, that helps somebody else up, but usually in my situations when I'm using it, there's no one behind me. I'm in last. So if you use it right when you're behind like the leader and then shoot ahead, especially when there's like, 2 or 3 people on the same row, they're all ahead, tied, and then you're behind and you just shoot past them, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Especially when they don't play a ballast. That's always the best.
Yeah, no. Worst card. Doesn't happen often enough. I'm 4 spaces behind. Guess I'll use the super engine.
Sounds like that.
Oh, look. I'm 3 spaces
Sounds like our listeners don't like they don't agree with you.
It's controversial, I know, but super engine, bad
Do you
card.
guys agree that the super engine is the best? Oh, sounds like they do, Devon. Sounds like they do.
The super engine is the worst.
Doesn't sound like it to me.
Give me that soundboard.
Soundboard? What? Oh, man.
Now I control the audience.
Now, what about some custom rules?
Custom rules for Montgolfiere.
I already have a couple, but I'd like to hear what you have first.
Did I even write down any?
It's pretty simple. You might not need to write it down. I came up with some after we started talking. I don't think you did.
Nope.
So, one that I had, let's go back to the same one I came up with in a couple weeks ago. Flux, no discards. Cards get shuffled right back in. So that could
first
be
to the
crazy.
Moon.
Yeah, first to the moon. Not play till the cards run out, because they won't run out. And every card you play, even that crazy 15, it's going right back in.
Okay.
You might get it again, you might not, depending on how the game goes.
Okay, so if we're playing a game mode with all the cards all the time,
yes.
How about half the cards right from the start? Cut that deck in half.
Randomly.
Yep.
I like it! Yeah.
Cut them in half.
Yeah.
You got 12 cards to play with.
Awesome.
You don't know what everyone else has.
You don't know
It's
what
a
they
little
have.
harder to predict. Maybe you don't even have any ballast. I don't know.
How about you can have 3, 1, 2, and 3. What if you play a game with no ballast? That doesn't work. Just super engines all the time. I also thought shuffle, like there's only one deck.
Right.
You still shuffle them back in because this is going to run out too fast, but there's only one deck.
So everyone has the same draw pile.
Yes.
That works.
You could even do it where you could play it. Normally there is a discard, you do run out, but you shuffle 3 decks together.
That'll do it.
I mean, and there's a little bit of strategy you might be able to do if you're very attentive with the colors, like the color of the backs, like keeping track of who could have what potentially. But that would take a lot of attention, I think, and it wouldn't really help until like really the very end.
Perfectly doable, though.
But yeah, I think that would be an interesting one too, because then you could have all 3 15s. You could have all 3 super engines.
Yep.
When I say 3, I mean like based on a 3-player game. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you could have all the 15s, all the super engines, all the grappling hooks. But you could have all of them.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
There's the game that we actually play where you start from the ground.
Yes, I do like that. It's just a little further away.
Yeah. Where you don't reach the moon quite as often.
Not quite as often. Sometimes. But yeah, it's harder to reach the moon because we start right from like the first spot where the rules say like fourth.
You can't immediately get a setback, but
no, and that's the good part. Like sometimes people like it eliminates attack cards for the first couple turns.
Yeah.
Unless
you're
sleeping
really
gas
a jerk
and storms. Unless you're really a jerk, but that it just wouldn't even work unless the board is circular. and you drop through down to the moon, and you win. You could add that as a rule.
The center of the Earth.
It's like, let's hope someone throws a storm my way. You could also do one. So I thought of this one. You get to the moon.
Okay, I'm on the moon.
Then
with my balloon,
take
sheep,
your whole
chicken,
deck.
and duck. Then
you take your whole deck
and throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window. You won. Don't let there be a chance that you could lose on another game. Keep that record. No. You shuffle your deck again. Rules work the same or backwards. You're trying to get back down to Earth.
But where do I get the ballast?
You have the ballast. You still have some. But the smallest ballast goes down.
So I've got moon rocks. I'm going back to Earth.
Yes, and rather than carry them down, you're throwing them down as you try to get down faster.
Right.
Listen, it doesn't work on a physical level, but like you're throwing the ballast down.
Right.
So basically, no.
I mean, how balloons work is you just turn off the heat and they'll slowly descend.
So, okay, the ballast cards turn into heat cards.
Right.
Where the smallest amount of heat gets you lower. Yes.
Right.
That was just an idea.
So play 2 rounds.
So, but a grappling hook. So, and we could change up the rules for the cards a little bit. A grappling hook could pull them up one.
Right. So it works on the one below you, and you yank
them up.
And because of that law of
think about that. A grappling hook could be like swap places.
Yeah.
As you're going down.
Down, you go up.
You go up. A super engine could be...
You go up too.
No. Or it's just like you just put the engine in reverse and go down too.
No, you go up too.
That's
an engine. You can't just reverse it.
No, you just turn it around.
No, it's not an engine.
You literally just mount it on a pie plate and turn it around.
Yeah, that's still up too.
It's a lazy Susan.
If you turn around an
impossible rotor.
If you turn around an engine that sends you up, you're still going up.
No,
you'd have to flip it upside down.
The picture on it has a propeller. If you turn the propeller the other way, it's going to pull you the other way.
No, you're still going up.
No! It moves air through it specific to the way it's pointed.
Yeah, and if you rotate that, you're still moving up regardless of which way it's pointed.
Oh, sounds like everyone agrees with me and they're booing you.
Otherwise, how could you possibly use that to go up if the orientation of your balloon matters?
It's my house rule. A super engine, they turn it around because it's a propeller on the super engine.
Flip it upside down.
And they turn it around.
Flip it upside down.
Are you really getting that semantic? You're getting that semantic? Okay, they flip it upside. Oh, you just turn it this way. Oh my goodness!
It actually go in the same direction.
Hey, audience, what do you think of that? Oh, boo, boo!
The super engine.
All right.
Bad card.
Anyway, my idea was that you race to the moon and then back to Earth.
Right.
I'm done.
Without dying, I'm assuming.
Ooh, could you fall back to Earth and lose?
I hope not.
Sleeping gas. Just kills you. Turns into poison gas.
Okay. So...
Any other house rules you wanted to go over?
You're falling faster and faster. So on the first round, you fall 1 space. Then... On the second round, you fall 2 spaces. On the third round, you fall 4 spaces.
And then
you have to use your ballast.
Oh, you have to use the super engine to slow down your descent.
Yeah.
Because you only turned it around, so it's still facing upwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the audience still doesn't like that. But I'm going with it. Thanks, audience, for your support. Yeah, that's actually a really good one. You start falling like a rock. We'll just say you lost... Right, well, space is cold. You lost all your hot air. So now you're just falling.
So you have to throw the ballast to get the equal and opposite momentum. To send you up a little bit.
Listen, it doesn't work, but the super engine stops your descent.
Right.
Potentially.
So you just have to draw the super engine before you die.
We could workshop it. You have to draw the super engine before you die. The winner of the game is based entirely on chance, and there might not even be a winner of the game. I like it. I like it. Oh, look, the audience likes it. You would lose with that. The audience likes it. Super engine still. No, sorry.
Let's see.
Hair trigger these fans.
How do we work some crosswinds into this?
Right.
I feel
you
like
could get blown into a different game.
Crosswinds is the natural enemy of the balloon.
What if you get blown into, like, Catan?
Then you have to set up 2 board games. You need a really big table.
Yeah.
And then what resource do you draw?
Air.
Oh.
Anyway.
Balloons are a source of air.
Balloons are a source of air. That's why people take air balloons to the top of Mount Everest, right?
That makes sense.
Well, that was fun.
It was fun.
Do we have anything else that you want to talk about? Like maybe building a balloon?
So, this game, did it inspire you to build your own balloon?
No.
I've already started.
But I watched a video by Dude Perfect where they all had to make their own boat and cross a lake.
That's different.
With only $25.
They should have just made a balloon and floated across the lake.
Well, one guy bought a whole bunch of pop and then got the pop bottles, the 2-liter bottles, and taped them all together. He made it across.
Did he just shake them and open them one at a time? Just motor across?
I don't know. That would have been amazing, but also polluting the lake with pop. But, no, they were empty.
Oh.
And they had buoyancy, not buoyancy, because it was water. And he made it across. It took him a while because it was awkward to try to paddle with it. But he did it.
He paddled with the pop bottle?
No, he made a paddle out of something. I don't remember what.
Was it a cut open pop bottle?
I was thinking that. It might have been. It was a while ago.
Right.
So no, I didn't make my own hot air balloon. But it makes me want to start a contest with people where we spend $25 to make a boat and get across a little lake. I actually have a little lake we could use. I want to do this contest. And it's not even a contest.
As long as we don't pollute the lake.
Oh, no, there's how to do it. The audience agrees. Thanks, audience.
Head to head, $25. Get across this lake. No, whatever. No rules. Just $25. Go.
Well, it's also $25 US, so maybe like $40.
Right. But the only rule is you have to cross the lake. You can't just walk around it.
Yes. You have to use the device in the water. Yes, that is correct.
No, in the water.
Yes.
It's gonna balloon across.
Oh. You know what? If you can, you have to go over the geographical area of the lake. You don't necessarily have to be in the water. Because if you can, with $40, make it across the lake in a hot air balloon, then by all means, please.
Okay, so I need $10 for a tarp.
Too heavy.
Another $90 for a fire pit for that tarp.
Hold on. You want a fire pit?
Well, yeah. What, you want me to get a propane tank and try to light that? Those things are explosive.
Well, a fire pit, most of them these days are actually controlled by propane. So, first of all, there's that.
Oh, then a wood-burning oven.
Okay.
How heavy are those?
Yeah, well, a couple $100. Also more expensive than $30, which is all you have left after the $10 tarp. FYI, the cheapest tarp I have is $9.
Right.
And it is 6x8, which is very small.
Alright, what if I find a hot air balloon?
No finding. You have to spend the money.
No, I find it used on, like, Kijiji or something.
For 40 Canadian dollars?
Yes.
Sure.
Nice.
Sure.
Oh, plus shipping. Darn.
Yep, there you go. Well, Kijiji.
No, I mean, like, shipping to the actual event space.
You're gonna call me because I'm the only one that drives. It's gonna be
fit a balloon on your car.
Fit it in the car?
Not with the basket.
If you fold it properly. No, not with the basket. You are correct. You're gonna have to hold on. This has turned... Yeah, I don't think you're gonna win the contest. I want to do
I
it.
think my balloon would be...
I think we should do it. Would you do it?
Wait, can I choose which side of the lake I start on? Because that wind is really...
Why, you're going to get a sail? There's no way. No, it's in a forest.
It's a balloon. The only way to control it is the wind.
You're just going to go up and just start flying away. It's like, he actually did it. He got the balloon. Oh, the wind's not in his favor. He loses.
Too bad.
That'd be amazing. But no, seriously, would you do that contest?
Yeah, I like contests.
That would be fun,
mosquitoes.
No? If we do it early enough in the spring.
Like now?
No, it's still too cold. And it's my pond is all icy.
I think balloons
It's only a couple hundred feet max to get across. Like, it's not far.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The only thing that's... Yes, that's right, you have. But, maybe all the people listening haven't.
I mean, calling it a lake is probably...
Listen, people haven't seen it. It's a lake. It's a pond. It's a couple hundred feet across.
That's a pond.
Geographically, that's a...
Pond.
Pake. A lawn.
Puddle.
A puddle. It is a puddle. So
extra large puddle.
Extra puddle, double XL. But no, that would be fun, no? The only thing that sucks is just really, there's a lot of underwater flora.
Right.
So
which puts my balloon idea ahead.
Yeah, it does. But I'm just saying if you okay, listen. Let's be realistic for a second, which we're not known for in our podcast. If we do this contest, you're not getting a balloon for $40.
I mean, I could probably get just a balloon for $40.
But not the actual hot air balloon.
No, like one of those party balloons with, let's say, like 50...
But you'll get that for $5.
Yeah, and then I get like
if you get 8 of them, then just hold on tight. Make sure to buy them one at a time in case it works. That would be, or could you just rent like a can of propane and get a?
Possibly.
That'd be funny. I think they're more expensive than that. Yeah. But no, that would be fun. Okay.
That'd be a good competition.
That would be fun. The only thing that would suck is if you actually go overboard and like have to swim through that stuff.
Oh no, I would just use the balloons as the rafts.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying if like your raft or whatever goes overboard.
Right.
Like tips.
Oh. Well, that could. Almost definitely.
Remember, you're just coming up with like a friggin' whatever. I do like the pop bottle design. But that's a lot of pop. Where would I store that pop? Because I'm not throwing it out.
Because you just have to throw a party for some kids.
I gotta throw like a party for a lot of kids because I need like 50 pop bottles.
Or provide refreshments to the people who want to watch the event.
I gotta buy the worst pop because it's gotta be cheap. Ugh. I'd buy like RC Cola or something.
Not even
that. That's still too expensive.
You gotta buy like cola.
Yeah, with a K. K''LA. Cola. I think we should do that. I think I should organize this and see who wants to do it. So it'd be so much fun.
So this game has inspired our own adventures.
Well,
thanks, Montgolfiere brothers.
Thank you. Thanks for just reminding me of
Dominique.
The Dude Perfect video I saw that is the exact thing we're doing. But, yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool idea. We're going to do it. We'll live stream it, even though I can't because there's no data out there.
We'll record it unedited, except we will edit it.
We're going to edit it
several hours long.
Yes. This is a great idea, and I need to start working on it right away. We might
make it available at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Probably on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. I don't know if we mentioned it in the last, 2 episodes.
Nope, but if you look for it, it's there.
It is there. So go to, let's say, Cardboard Podcast. YouTube.com/Cardboard Podcast. And right now you can listen to most of our episodes. We may not be updating... it may not get posted same day, but give it a week just to be safe because we both work kind of full time and it'll be up there. So if obviously you're listening to this, if you're listening to this, but you prefer to listen on YouTube, you can go there. Or if you know someone who might prefer to listen on YouTube, just let them know it's there. And eventually we may start posting other things there, Pond Fest 2019.
Yep. Now with visual aids.
Visual aids, like a video. Alright, thanks for listening.
Bye!